Yeah, I was just asking you about if Phil talked about just his experiences or if he tried to give you guys a message today.
Oh, he just talked about how we persevered last year, and pretty much you gotta have those moments where you stay in games, and you gotta, like, when things go wrong, you gotta be able to keep the spirit up. Like, he was just talking about some of the guys that that kind of went unnoticed a little bit on the team that kind of kept them together. And so that's what everybody got to know their role, and enjoy your role, because if we a team, everybody has a place and everybody has a job. So whatever that job is issued to you, that's what you got to just accept until things change, because injuries happen, all kind of things happen, but how you handle yourself as a teammate is very important. So I think that's going to translate real good to us, especially hearing it from him.
Okay, go ahead, Kristen, and then Rob Kessner.
Hey, BG. Saw that you posted a couple of videos on Instagram that you were working out with Darius Slay. Even though that you can't be physically together, this entire team right now, what does it mean that you're able to be at least kind of in contact with one guy and get on the same page physically versus virtually?
It felt good, because we both been working out, and we just was like, what, when things get things get close to opening up, let's get together, because we already was working out at Barwich, but we kind of got on our own thing once this all happened, and it just felt good to be able to come in contact. I don't want to live in fear, but I am going to be smart about it, coming out. And so that was one thing that we talked about with each other. I know he's been quarantining and doing the right thing. So it's all about trusting and making sure that you do what you can, because we both got kids.
Go ahead, Rob, and then Jess Skaversky.
BG, what's up, man? I hope you're staying safe. Two quick questions for you. One, you're have been involved with Detroit and Philadelphia in giving back to some of the hospital workers, and so you had some cheesesteaks sent out to Detroit. Wondering where the idea for that came from. And then secondly, piggybacking off of Kristen's question, I saw on the IG that you're also working out with the missus. Are you embarrassed that she's beating you at all in all the workouts, or what?
Man, it's been cool working out with the wife, because you get to see another side of her. You get to really see the toughness, and I'm impressed, honestly. For her to be able to keep up with me, and I know it's less weight, but we all in competition with ourselves. So for her to be able to finish the workouts and enjoy them while we're doing it, it's only brought us closer. And I think that what was the second one? What was the second question you said?
The other one was about what you were doing with hospital workers and having food.
Yep. And so the wife had thought about it and wanted to be a part of something, and so we figured it's probably hard for them to get food, and we just want to do something. It might have been small, but it definitely boosted morale, probably, and that's all we want to do, is just boost the morale of we appreciate y'all, continue to keep saving lives and helping all you can, and so I was just hoping to be able to do it in both, and we end up being able to find places that individually pack stuff to where stuff don't cross contaminate. And subs was one of the things that we went with. We went with a cheesesteak because of Philly. We want to brighten their day, and so who don't want a cheesesteak? And we went with Subway in Michigan. I know a lot of people love it still here.
Thanks, Brandon. So if you can think back to 2011, you guys, there was a lockout and weren't able to be at the team facilities. I think that was your second year in the league. What do you think the challenges are thinking back to that time, and then now this time really cannot be at the team facilities? How hard it'll be to build chemistry with new teammates and with rookies getting acclimated? How much of a challenge will that be?
It's going to be a big challenge. Everybody's kind of going to be behind, but the best thing that we got going for us is we have the same coach, and we kind of understands his system, and all we have to do is kind of lead by example once we get started. And things are going to be a little rusty because nobody has been with each other and working out together like we do in OTAs and building that chemistry. But I think that what we have going for us is we have some guys that we all played together. We just got to bring the new guys in, and they'll kind of adjust. And we try to cover for them as long as we can until the bullets start firing. That's why preseason is going to be key in this season.
Go ahead, John, and then Nick Fiero.
Hey, BG, hope you're doing well. You're known as sort of that energy guy who always brings it every day. Have you kind of pictured what it might be like to play in front of few fans or even no fans, how that might affect you and your teammates?
The only thing we're going to do now is hear everybody on the sideline and the trash talk that's going to be happening. We're going to try to, make the best of it. I don't know all the plans, but I know in the beginning for sure it's no fans. And, I just think you're going to hear a lot of riffraff and a lot of stuff on the sidelines that you don't normally hear. It's just going to feel like a scrimmage that you practicing against these boys during the week. That's what it's going to sound like, a bunch of trash talk and, people excited when they score touchdowns and big hits. And, it's going to be a little different, but we're going to adjust and make it happen.
Go ahead, Nick, and then Les Bone.
Hi, Brandon. I want to ask about the team and all the moves they made in the offseason. It looks like they added players at every position except the end. Do you think that kind of shows confidence in the edge rushers on this team?
Oh, yeah. I'm excited about that, man. You always want to trust your guys, and then vice versa. We want to trust them that they believe in us, and that sent a loud message. And for me, I just want to go out there and give it all I got so we can help each other, lead ourselves back into a good situation, and that's the Super Bowl this year.
Hey, Les, and then Marcus Hayes.
Hey, Brandon. You spoke briefly last month about losing family members to the coronavirus. Could you tell us more about that? Who were they? And this must have been a very difficult experience for you.
Well, three aunts got it, 2 passed. And so one of them was my dad's sister, but she lived, she got better. And so we was thankful for that. 2 of them, one was my grandma's sister on my dad's side, and she passed. And then my dad's friend wife, who's like an auntie to me, she passed, and she was a close friend of the family. And so that was really tough, because she went from talking to us every day to no response, and then one day later she gone. It's like it got bad real fast. And so that's still tough. Me and my dad was talking about it earlier, and it just sucked, man, but you got to keep pressing, keep going. We understand, it's just a part of life, but it's just the way things kind of happen. It's tough for the family right now.
This was in the Detroit area?
Yeah. We was even thinking about driving back. That's how bad it was, but we just, stayed strong and just was like, we're going to stay here and, finish out and then come back when it's time.
So you're in, where are you now? Where are you these days?
I'm still in Michigan, but we was going to come to Philly. We was going to come back to Philly. But we decided we was just going to stay.
All right.
Okay, we'll go to Marcus and then Daniel Gallen. You got to unmute yourself, Marcus. Go ahead.
Hey, Brandon, it's great to see you. I'm very sorry for your loss. This pandemic must be very real to you. What concerns will you have when you return to the locker room, when you return to hitting people again, when you return to spending time in meeting rooms and buses and planes? Are you scared? Are you worried that, no matter what precautions you take, distancing, masks, tests, that, something may happen further to you or your family?
Well, number one, I said I don't want to live in fear. I'm going to trust, that the NFL, when they say it's time to go, that they really is going to be for our best interest, because that's how we got to do, in order for us not to have some type of normal, about this situation. And so I think when they say, they did all their homework and, things are looking better, yeah, it's gonna be some timidness, on a lot of bro hugs. Nah, we ain't gonna do too much, but it's gonna get back to it. But I just feel like, you got to trust that everybody is, doing the right things and, going try to help this situation other than just try to be reckless with it. And so I think, I'm going to trust it when we get back. That's it. We're just going to go try to be as normal as I can. Not try to just be safe, and not worry about it. And if things happen, I feel like, things just happen. I just not going to live in fear. That's my number one thing.
Do you know anybody else besides the people you mentioned who might have contracted it and gotten over it, whether it's in the league, whether it's in your personal life? Have you been touched by it in any other way?
Yeah, I mean, just with family members getting it and then just seeing like what they say. Von Miller had it. I forgot who else. Oh, a basketball player for the Detroit Pistons. A lot of it's just the Utah guys, man. It was just one of those things where, yeah, you at that point, I really was locked up in the house and not really wanting to do nothing because, you don't want to be, you just didn't want to, chance yourself, getting exposed and then you want to get tested just so that you can make sure that you're good already. And so I think that, we tried to handle it in the most right way that we could, that we knew how. And so that's what we just practiced social distancing once they started talking about that. And, once we started hearing some more information, we started just going by the guidelines of what everybody was asking us to do.
Okay, we'll go to Daniel Gallen and then Bo Wolf.
Hey, Brandon. What has the overall virtual part of the off season been like for you? I mean, what's it like, being in touch with your teammates, through this fashion and being in touch with your coaches in that same way? How's that been? How's that feel different?
You know what? It's cool. It's how you make it. I feel like as long as you get the message and have your pen and paper out, really listening on what's going on. Sometimes he don't have really nothing for us. He just want to see us, kind of have a roll call, talk to us for a second, and then after that, to hear what people doing. That was like the first couple meetings. We was just trying to figure out how everybody doing, anybody need help with anything, or who to call, who to contact, all that stuff. And now we just kind of like into motivation on keep doing what you're doing. They get videos all the time of us working out, and so they know what we're doing. So it's been cool. I really feel like this is a time where we get to spend a lot of time with our families that we normally don't get. So you try to look at the positives out of it. And so I've been trying to read a lot more, trying to pick up better habits on different things, and just working on me, working on myself, trying to use this time wisely. And so that's how I've been feeling with this whole virtual thing. It's been cool keeping us connected on what the message is and what we're trying to do, but we'll be ready when that time comes. And we just got to trust it's gonna be the right time when we come back.
Okay, we have time for a couple more, so we'll do Bo and then Ed Kratz and then Ruben Frank.
BG, what are your chores around the house?
Yeah, for real. That's a real thing right there. Make sure the trash is out. Make sure that I clean up after the kids. The last, like when we downstairs in the basement, they might make a big mess. I'm the one cleaning up. Fold the clothes when they get washed, and she put them up. What else I got? Watch the kids when she cooking so that, we be downstairs playing, or I take them out for a bike ride just to kind of burn time and have some fun with them. But, it's been cool. We've been playing board games, really just taking the kids off her. That's what I've been doing. I think that's been benefiting me a lot because now it's like, well, you got the kids a lot, let me get them. It's like, okay, but she spend a lot of time with us all the time. It's just, I be trying to give her a break in the house because they always want her. And, now is my time. And so I always try to interact with them by playing games and doing stuff that they want to do.
That's good. Thank you.
Okay, Ed and then Ruben, and then we have to wrap it up.
Hey, BG, that's quite a beard you got going on there. The quarantine beard, I guess, huh?
Yeah, I said I'm going to keep it, man. I said, normally I don't keep the bottom part under here, but I said, I'm going to get this lined up and I'm going to keep it, just to make it bigger. And I'm going to keep it for the season, see how I go.
Well, yeah, that's not my question, but it looks good. I just wanted to ask you about I think you're the longest tenured Eagle now on the roster. I mean, have you thought about that at all? I mean, you've been there the longest now. Do you increase your leadership role? I mean, how do you feel about that?
Hey, you know what, man? It's an honor to be able to be here 11 years. I know when Selleck was here, we was talking. It's just like, dang. Wasn't Selleck here 11 years? 11 years, right? He was 11?
Yeah,
Or was it longer?
Yep.
07 to 17.
Yep. So, yeah, it was, just when he was thinking about, all his stuff, I'm like, man, I feel so good, right now. I don't know. I got to keep making plays, to stay here. And that's all I've been just trying to do, just worry about just leading by example like I've been doing. Don't try to do too much, other than what, I've been doing. Keep learning from the best. Like, I learned from Malcolm when he was here. I seen him every day. I know what I got to do. I just got to keep doing it. And whatever kind of comes up, I address it and not just let stuff go by the wayside, because that's when stuff start to creep in, and then you start to allow stuff that you normally shouldn't, and then you get bit in the game, and then you try to hurry up and play catch up. It's like, nah, I'm gonna try to address a lot of stuff early. If you start to see stuff, and we're gonna have this mentality out there. We gotta get it on defense. It's all a mentality, and we gotta get the ball carrier on the ground. That's it.
Thanks, BG.
Go ahead, Rube.
Hey, Brandon, good to see you, man. Hey, just kind of riffing off what Ed just asked you. You're going into year number 11. Has the nature of this off season with no OTAs and not seeing your coaches and teammates being back in has it kind of dampened your enthusiasm for coming back for another year? Or are you kind of all in like a normal year?
Man, I'm all in, because it's all about having an advantage. And I feel like we got an advantage right now. Like I told you, we got the same coach. All we got to do is make sure that we take this off season, like we supposed to, and work your butt off. And when we get back, coach will take us slow through this thing before we really start getting after it, And so I'm really excited, more so than anything, because I feel like when stuff like this happen, it's only shaping us up for a better future. And so I think that we can learn a lot from this situation, despite all the loss that we have had, and come back stronger and more prepared for the if ever a next time. So I'm looking at it the same way, man. I'm trying to go win a ring, because when this stuff calm down, that ring's still gonna mean something.
All right, Brandon, we'll let you get back to your family. Thanks, everybody. Have a good weekend.
All right, BG, thanks.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, have a good one.